the types of leases. You got the full service gross, which is sort of the simplest version. It's just the base rent, and everything is included in the base rent. Then you have the modified gross, which tends to be similar to a gross, but all of the operating expenses are sort of put in different buckets, and anything that comes in over whatever they were the first year of that lease, the tenant pays for. And then the net lease or triple net lease, basically the tenant is paying their base rent, but then most everything else, other costs, also pass through to them except for certain capital costs. But I like this slide as a visual way to look at the sort of different lease types. And they're all still, even within these three categories, you're still getting all kinds of variations. But those are the three main types of leases that you're going to see. So this is a great visual slide that I borrowed from NRDC on the split incentive. And I think it's just a quick way to reference it, which is basically if you're the building owner, say you own a strip shopping center or a multi-tenant office, there's a disconnect between who pays for energy efficiency improvements and who gets the benefit. So if I'm the landlord in a triple net multi-tenant office building and I want to get Energy Star certification, I go in and I do a lighting upgrade, an HVAC upgrade, and it seems great and it should be reducing our energy use. But if my lease calls those capital expenses, then I don't have any way to get money back from the tenants for those improvements. And since it's triple net and I'm passing all the energy costs through to the tenants, then they're the ones that are saving money. And basically I'm just amortizing these improvements and not getting really anything back. So that's the split incentive. You want the party that's paying for the energy efficiency improvement to benefit from the energy efficiency improvement, and that's what we're trying to fix with green leasing. So thankfully there are a lot of smart people out there working on solutions to this. One of the best solutions I think came out of New York last year. That's the PlaNYC REBNY clause. There we go. It was developed in conjunction with the New York City Mayor's office. I'm not going to go too into depth because you can find, but there's some great resources on greenleaselibrary.com that explain this better than I can in 2 minutes. But it's basically what it does is it helps the landlord do energy efficiency improvements by performing the upgrade and then passing the costs through to the tenants based on the projected savings. So it's great for the owners because it means they recoup their costs faster, and it's great for tenants because it means they get a better building and they still get to save money, during and after the upgrades are paid back. And by using, it uses the sort of 20% buffer to protect the tenants, in case the project doesn't quite perform as expected. To me, it works best with sub-metered or separately metered spaces, but I generally think everything works better with sub-metered or separately metered spaces. Let's see. So if we can, that's just one clause. If I can take a step back in the leasing process and just say, ideally you're starting with the letter of intent. We can go through all the different lease clauses, but ideally you're starting with your RFP or your letter of intent, and you're starting by trying to figure out, what both sides' sustainability goals are. So, if you have a company that's decided it'll only go into an Energy Star building, or you have to be able to build your space out to LEED CI, you need to know that early on to get the most benefit out of this process. If you go all the way through the process and you get to negotiating the final lease points and then go, oh yeah, we need your building to be Energy Star rated, then suddenly you've reopened up negotiations and it's going to cause more issues. So the earlier you can start bringing this up, the better. And again, there's a bunch of resources on the website that cover how to do this from an RFP. There's a great USGBC guide. There's a great Portland guide, a great California guide.